Teal, Chuck Martin from Sullivan County, or sometimes they would hear it on the radio, Chuck from Sullivan County, or from Jefferson. Yeah, really from Jeffersonville. I'm sorry. Um, this is really a special edition of it because this has been, um, besides the bye week and living life and stretching the legs out. I'm holding this because this is one amazing win, and I'm awestruck. Okay, obviously kudos going again to the mighty WPDH celebrating 50 years, to the mighty Sparrow's Nest of the Hudson Valley, and in cooperation with the Roofathon. Now, where did I get this shirt? Very simple. Orange County Fair Speedway, or Orange County Fair. First time in a long time, and thanks, Nina, for an amazing couple hours. It was, even though it was a little hot on Friday, but it was absolutely amazing. And it was just magical. It brought the kid back out in me. And we just, we walked around a little bit. We saw a couple great shows. There was like a uh, cycle event. There was Under the Big Top. Saw, some amazing exhibits. But more importantly, I got to see my radio brothers. And I mean that. They are my radio brothers. Just like Eddie Wilson and WVUS. By the way, I'm going to mention about that in a little bit. Um, it's just amazing. So uh, this is why I love afternoon radio. This is why I love live radio for a number of years, for a number of reasons. First of all, everything's happening locally, regionally, next door, whatever, across this great valley between Delaware Valley and the Hudson Valley, the entire extension from the Catskills to Chewongunks and many other places. So, but the most important thing, I could tell you this right now, and it's absolutely awesome. As a kid, and again, keep this in mind, I, obviously going to school in Catskills. Okay, Tri Valley Central School. I did the plug, and I got to tell you about that one too. This is like just hitting me left and right and being barraged. I'm like, I can keep this focus. So, a lot to this, a lot to tell you on this one, which is very, very um, intriguing, interesting, and hopefully a little bit of damage control. Okay, but first off, Orange County Fair was absolutely very cool this year, and I got to see my brother Tigman and Trevor. First time meeting Trevor. Trevor, thank you. You're just amazing. And I said that by mistake, and I said I thought that was Hopkins. So I said no, 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 no. This is Trevor. This is Trevor. This is Trevor. So I apologize again. Okay. So it was absolutely very cool. So he was good with that. And there's pictures on social media that you have to check out on my account on either like the big three, and I kind of put a little bit more to it. So it was absolutely an amazing day that Friday. So now, and it was a real sweet of a weekend. I'm going to tell you, it was absolutely phenomenal. So obviously, I had some minor, you know, this is Saturday now. Saturday, um, obviously, took care of some minor business. Got to see a few friends, mine, and everything. And by the way, happy August. This is our first, obviously it's the third day, but the my alma mater at Tri Valley, and a shout out to the parent teacher organization, which made at the amazing little league field, the field of dreams for kids and for me. They had a wing fest and cornhole tournament, and let me tell you something. Those were one of the best chicken wings ever. Yes, I had to indulge because, yep, obviously my stomach, I'm going to be paying for it. And I said, okay, let's try it out. So they had mild, they had barbecue, and they had Parmesan, the garlic Parmesan. Obviously, took the garlic Parmesan. blue cheese one way or another. It was absolutely finesse. So, to the amazing crew that was, dedicated to make that well awareness. And I wonder who actually won the cornhole tournament, but we'll see. And congratulations to the winners that actually won amazing their amazing gifts. So, and it's going out to a very wonderful cause in the area for my alma mater. So, and keep in mind, 1986. Who'd ever thought we graduated 40 years ago? Holy cow! And I'm just counting down the days and weeks. It's like, okay, from that going into Herkimer County Community College, and that's more. And I'm getting excited. I'm very getting excited because I'm looking forward to hopefully, maybe on the bucket list I'll be able to get up there. But in the meantime, it's just taking one day at a time and enjoying it. So right after that, I actually spent time with my mother, in the cemetery. Took one of those little camp chairs. We chatted, and I paid my respects to my sister-in-law as well. Now, my mother, she is a breast cancer survivor. She was a breast cancer survivor, and I think I remember telling this like a while ago. Um, she had a relapse a few years ago, a couple years after that, and it was very terrible. And she passed on in February 1st, 2011. That was 15 years ago, and I still never really got a chance to, I mean, I did. I actually had the chance to spend quality time. I have pictures. I was one of the fortunate ones, and seeing my father, my mother, so, and I love them very much. And then I see my three nieces blossom into their own. So, and you know who I'm talking, and you know who you are out there, by the way. So it was absolutely very, very cool. So, so that was that. And then top it off, going to the Grahamsville Gorilla right on 55. And I had a Reese's Monkey, which was absolutely amazing. It was absolutely heaven sent. I was really craving for ice cream, your typical foods. It was it was top of the world. So everybody's that week, obviously the last couple of days, this past weekend was definitely top marks. So I was really enjoying this. Now, lo and behold, but there was some certain anniversaries, a birthday that I could not even forget. By the way, happy birthday again to the amazing Paula Green D'Amico, uh, rock star indeed. And how can I say it anyway else? She's really, really just amazing with the advice. And it was, and I spent like a long time, we actually had our phone calls. We actually did this again. We actually nearly stayed up for another 2 or 3 hours. I'm like, no, no, I gotta go to bed. I had a great, I had a great Saturday, and it was absolutely fantastic. So, and so along the way, um, obviously MTV was this past weekend uh, with the celebration of 40, 41 years or 45 years. That's right, 45 years because MTV premiered August 1st, 1981. Now, this morning, with WVUS's own Captain Eddie Wilson. By the way, Eddie, happy birthday. You're the best, man. Bravo of a show. And playing all the tracks from 6 a.m. to 10 a.m. Not nearly all the tracks, but, by one shot. But it was absolutely. And then he goes into different ones like the Buggles, Pat Benatar, The Who, um, 38 Special. Hint, hint, wink, wink. I'm going to tell you about that in a little bit. Um, different tracks that we all grew up with. And it just brought back some really solid memories. In fact, I heard the original version of Little Susie which was remade by Tesla. Hands down was one of the best versions I got. I'm like, I'm listening. I know that song, and obviously here's a radio announcer, here's a radio broadcaster, and you know, we're celebrating this amazing event. So again, bravo to Eddie Wilson, bravo to 95.9 WVOS, and just an amazing. By the way, huge thing at the end of the month, which I can't wait. Um, you see, I don't know by maybe by good luck or anything else. Going to be heading to Dutchess County Fair this summer, in which two bands are going to be playing. One will be Wednesday night, and I have a doctor's appointment in the morning, but that's beside the point. I have a doctor, I got to talk with the doctor. But Wednesday night, 38 Special is going to be performing there. So I'm looking forward to that. And then Friday, in which I missed last year. Now, earlier this year, I got to see at the not Hurleyville, sorry, uh, to the Bethel Woods Performing Arts Center. I saw Led Zeppelin and the 50th anniversary of The Song Remains the Same. Well, last year at this time at Bethel Woods, they also had another huge impact of a tribute band that I heard that they do very well. It's called Almost Queen. I am looking forward to that for that Friday. So it's going to be an amazing adventure. It's going to be an amazing event on Friday, and I'm looking forward. And I know my strength is going to be there. I know it's going to be there. Maybe I need to take an extra nap. Maybe I have to get some extra fuel. Who knows? But I'm just looking forward to it, and I'm getting excited. This is one of those things that as a cancer warrior, and hopefully to provide some major impact. And again, to Anthony and to the amazing crew across the river, thank you for the amazing ride so far. There's still a lot to do. Still a lot to do. So that being said, that's kind of like on the next segment. Now, I think most of you know I am part of the Catskill International Film Festival. Transcending Pictures, Catskill International Film Festival. We're having our 6th event at the Hurleyville Performing Arts Center. Okay? Now, there have been releases, and how can I say it in one way? It's very sad that my favorite place, the Tango Cafe and the Hurleyville Performing Arts Center, will be closing down at the end of October. October 31st is the last day for Hurleyville Performing Arts Center. And let me reiterate again, October 31st. Okay. I read online, and this is what really, as a broadcast journalist, and how I see it, because keep this in mind, I handle the media side, the public relations side of what I do passionately, and how we can say damage control. Because sometimes, some way, you see the big headlines, and then they still scroll. Stop for a moment, go back to the article, reread, let your mind, say it. You read it. Yes, the fact is there. The Hurleyville Performing Arts Center is closing, yet it's honoring everything before that date, October 31st. Now, the amazing 6th event of the Catskill International Film Festival is happening October 9th to October 11th. Okay? Spectacular things are going to happen. Red carpet event, a masquerade ball. That's what we're really going to, with it. And an amazing closing ceremony, which we're working on right now. And I'm hoping that I can get, some amazing people to participate and partake, and make it all happen, and make it, and not only that, there's going to be an improv show, thanks to one of the coordinators, a very funny comedian in Sullivan County and around the area. His name is Keith Prince. Hysterical, and looking forward to that. It's going to be an amazing time for the 3-day weekend on the sixth Catskill International Film Festival. And look up online. There is a website for it. I'll give you all the details, hopefully, in a few minutes to give you that, give that, how exciting it before. And believe me, I really can't say as much, but I am very much blown away on some of the performances and some of the, it was just absolutely amazing. As a matter of fact, off the side note, um, there is a movie that's out on a social platform called Robin Cecilia Wheat. Okay. It was absolutely phenomenal. And this is what my take is. Who knows? Who knows? But this documentary was absolutely amazing with all the struggles and strife, from mental illness to Robin herself. She is also a cancer warrior. She has pancreatic cancer. I understand that fully because, again, I'm coming up on my 34th round of chemo. I am very much well aware and how to educate others about this silent killer. So, I mean, it's online. Check it out for yourself. And I felt for that. I started to tear up, and I wanted to give her the biggest hug ever because we're both cancer warriors. We're battling this silent killer, and that's the main thing. So there's so many others like myself out there. So, and again, condolences to a fellow friend of mine. But reason why I'm wearing this as well, and we're gonna roll right into this as well. On August 2nd, 1979, a horrific plane crash happened. It was the skipper, the captain, an amazing catcher, which should be in the Hall of Fame. Now, there's many arguments about this. Well, he shouldn't be in there, or what I do believe he should be in there because he was the most passionate player ever. Part of two back to back. He was on in the '76 team, the '76 World Series team when the Reds took it all in '76, '77, 1978. The most amazing years. Yes, everybody remembers Bucky Dent's uh, shot heard around the Green Monster. But this gentleman, the catcher, Thurman Munson, number 15, and this is a replica of of his memory. And then I start seeing online once again, starting on social media from from the networks and how they clipped it in, and how the modern catcher, um, I'm trying to, his name is Ashton Wells, full mustache, the signature part of the late catcher himself, the late look, and then obviously all the stats on her in the back. Now that's what you call honoring an amazing catcher back in the day, and it still gets me. It still hits me every time on that day, August 2nd, 1979, where a fateful crash got him in Ohio, airplane crash. So That being said, this is how what I would really say this a lot. It's the legacy that creates the legend, producing an amazing tribute for anything. Could be a movie star, could be an athlete, could be a singer, could be a baseball player, football player. The nine things, then they're battling their own, their own ways, or with it, what have you. So, and it was absolutely breathtaking. I started to tear up again. Obviously the emotions started to come out because what are you supposed to do? So anyway, this is like I said, this is like the overview and what had to happen just prior to it. And again, I can't wait, until the end of August. I'm ecstatic for it. And beside, yes, it is Woodstock weekend. It's going to be Woodstock anniversary on the 17th, 18th, and 19th, if I do remember correctly. That's all happening. You can see that everybody's making the journey up to, right up to the fields. And I can hear Bob O'Reilly in the back of my mind out here in the fields, and it just plays on, and this and this and this, and you see Serene thing, or the Guess Who with Magic Bus, or Crosby, Stills, Nash and Young with Woodstock. So there's a lot going on, but very, 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 very well, thinking of it. So, and again, I have a list of I'm gonna show you my list in a few minutes with the music and whatnot, and just check it out. It's absolutely amazing. So that was really the part two that I got to enjoy. You see, I try not to stay home. I try not to, I'm trying to find different ways, shortcuts, and just to enjoy the serenity of the Catskills, and being a part of a bigger and better way of doing things in life, and especially having on a legacy itself for the sixth event, for our sixth Catskill International Film Festival. It's going to be a blast. More details are coming. You know, Key details. I mean, I really can't give it too much away, yet I will tell you, opening ceremony is going to be great. Red carpet event, question and answer, workshops, um, an improv. Improv on a Saturday. Well, I think improv. In between. I'm not sure what that where that's going to be fitting, but I do know there's an improv coming up at the center, at the art center. Even the masquerade ball. That's a little bit of a tease, and then obviously the closing ceremonies. That's Sunday from October 9th to October 11th. It's still going on, folks. Just let you know. All right. Otherwise, amazing week, amazing weekend, and getting ready for what's coming up next for number 34. Plus, so man, 34. Wow, I could think of one number that really applies. I'm a huge Bills fan. Number 34, Thurman Thomas. And by the way, happy 101 or 101st birthday to Buffalo Bills coach Marv Levy. I am ecstatic. This is great. And let's put it this way, the quest is beginning. Quest starting to work together. They look pretty good. So I'm ecstatic. So anyway, this is Chuck Martin, aka Charlie, Charles Chuck, Charlie Chaz, CGM3 Productions, and giving you all the best and something happy and definitely a great time. Again, thank you to Nina. Thank you to Tigman and Trevor and the entire crew. Thank you to Eddie Wilson as well for an amazing morning and a amazing memory down lane today. It was absolutely sweet. So thank you guys. You made my heart happy. You made this week look a little bit more, a little bit more of sunshine. There's a ray of light every time, and that brings a lot of hope. So, and a deep hope, deep faith, and patience. So, again, it's Chuck Martin, aka Charles Chuck Charlie Chaz from CTM3 Productions, with peace, love, energy, and a lot of hope, patience, perseverance. You take care. We'll be able to talk next week. We'll find out what else is going on here, and have a great week, folks. We'll keep another update soon. So you take care.